Okay, so with Kong Survival Instinct being announced and showing some of the gameplay here and giving us a look at Titanus Abaddon, I'm going to flat out say this. I am disappointed in so many ways right now. Like, the gameplay looks horrible. We're playing as a human. I mean, it's not even going to be a balance between the Peter Jackson Kong one. At least in that one, we can actually play as the human, and then we get to play as Kong for a large majority of the game, and then go back to the humans for a little bit, then go back to Kong. And then there's Titanus Abaddon, who I'm just disappointed in entirely. Like, what the heck is wrong with y'all? This is what y'all give us? This is a waste of a Titan. But without further ado, let's begin here. Now, the reason why a lot of these Godzilla fans, including myself, have such a high expectation, or as a matter of fact, kaiju fans in general have such a high expectation, is because we've been left with a sour taste in those of us who have actually played or even watched the game Rise of Kong, which was absolutely horrendous, especially for something that was based off a different iteration of Kong from a different line of comics. And then we have the sheer fact that when we get a good look at Titanus Abaddon, it's not good at all. But let's talk about the gameplay in general. This doesn't look too... the background looks great, okay? But the gameplay itself, the shooting, the combat, the melee, y'all could have did way better with this. Like, in my opinion, y'all should have just did a Resident Evil 4 style MonsterVerse game. And y'all would have made bank with this, okay? Imagine going through the city, fighting against the, you know, maybe the Frostvark or something like that, that just makes its way over there, and then you have to kill Titanus Abaddon's babies, and then at the end of the game, you could play as Kong for a little bit, just for that one fight. Again, I don't think anybody would have been mad about that. However, one of the biggest issues here is that this game is nothing more than a cash grab, using the name of Kong to draw in his fandom and the fandom of the MonsterVerse, using Tiamat, and then you have, again, Titanus Abaddon. Alright? So, with that being said here, I don't think a lot of people are going to play this because, again, it's going to feel like a cash grab. We're not playing as the kaiju, something that everyone has wanted. This isn't like Evolve or, you know, Transformers or something like that there, where we already play as the monsters or the respective Cybertronian, and we get to just have a whole lot of fun with it chapter by chapter, redoing the chapter or redoing certain levels with these creatures here. But let's talk about the creature in general, Titanus Abaddon. What is this? Y'all just gonna give us another Spider Titan? Y'all wasted a whole Titan just to give it a spider design. And then you want to hype it up saying, oh, well, no Titan is safe from Titanus Abaddon. But boy, what? The fan art looks way more dangerous than this thing right here. Y'all should have just took this. Y'all could have stole it. And I'm pretty sure fans wouldn't mind. Now, sure, y'all might have some legal issues. But again, y'all could have used this. Y'all could have MonsterVersed it up. Okay? And this would have looked way more scary, way more intimidating, and believe it or not, there's a simple way to make this kaiju look good, or to have it be a threat worthy of saying, no Titan is safe, okay? But yet, y'all give us a whole nother spider design when we already had Scylla established as the spider squid of the monsters. We already had the mother longlegs being a division of sub-titans or subspecies of titans in general, or spider-like subspecies in the monsters here. And again, the fan work or the fan artwork is 10 million times better than what y'all produced in that funky little studio. Okay, y'all are lazy. Y'all are just downright disrespectful. And y'all literally expect people to pay money for this. Again, no, I'm not spending money on this game at all here. Because again, you could have just had Scylla. You really could have. We could have had a Kong versus Scylla match. Nobody would have minded that. We could have had Kong versus Scylla, Amalok, and Tiamat, and then at the end of the game, we fight a Titan that is worth our time, or worth fighting, you know? And in all honesty, I'm just really not convinced at all that this thing is going to be such a big threat. I guarantee you it's going to be fodder, like the Scar King. But if this thing is such a threat, why is it barely bigger than Suko? Like, it doesn't even stand upright against Kong at all. And again, this is probably because it is a Spider Titan. However, if y'all did the, the whole Mantis Locust design, then y'all would have had a solid kaiju to work out with. But no, y'all again wasted a whole Titan that we've been looking forward to seeing for a while, and then y'all just shatter it like that. Y'all shatter the dreams and expectations of that. And then there's Tiamat. And this actually goes into no Titan is safe here. Tiamat is a genuine threat to Godzilla and has a 50-50 shot at beating him in underwater combat. Okay? Yeah, she lost to a, weakened Godzilla, but Godzilla had to use BFR when he was weakened. So again, respectfully, yeah, he had to do that. But again, if you're giving a Titan that has a solid chance against Godzilla under the water and saying that she's threatened by Daddy Longlegs over here, then what am I supposed to expect? I expect nothing but the best, right? But then again, we all expected nothing from the best from Scar King, and look how that turned out. Dude's a whole fraud. And again, I'm going to be real with y'all. Godzilla X Kong The New Empire was horrible in terms of its story and in terms of its pacing. And believe it or not, some of the fight scenes were not long enough. All right? It was absolutely in need of an extended period. But then when you read the novels, everything's extended, right? You see, that's one of the biggest problems and one of the biggest gripes with the Monsterverse as a whole here. Everything is put into the novels rather than the movies. This is why King of the Monsters did not do so well. Godzilla vs. Kong did well because it extended the kaiju fights. We need fights like that. Like Godzilla vs. Kong at the end, we need fights like that. This is why other franchises are outdoing Godzilla unless it comes to a crossover. Transformer games are far better than Godzilla's because, again, they give us what we want. All right? Now, sure, you have Godzilla Unleashed, and then you have the Godzilla PS4 game, which were all great. All excellent, right? They all had a story, and they all had something else where you could play against other players online, and hopefully you beat them, right? But then you also have games like this who bait you in with the name of the kaiju or the franchise, right? And then they just rip that hope away. Okay? So let's talk about how we can actually fix this game. And again, it's not too late to actually fix it. For starters, if you guys want to do human gameplay, then take some notes from this. Resident Evil 4, right? We're fighting against Spider Titans. We're fighting against, these miniature versions of Abaddon. Okay, do this. Yeah, do it like Resident Evil 4. And plus, we're supposed to fight against the organization we saw in Godzilla King of the Monsters, which led by Tywin Lannister. And they're actually going to be called the Hyenas in this one. Yeah, Resident Evil 4, please. Yeah, I'll take that. We'll do some melee enemies, we'll do shooting enemies, and then we could do a combination of both at certain points, right? And then we could actually have moments where we could actually like maybe open doors and stuff, or maybe lure some of these little baby Abaddons or whatever to the enemy in order to get a environmental kill or something like that. Or trapping them in a hive area or a nest-like area to where the babies crawl out and just devour the enemy. Again, gonna have to be graphic, gonna have to be rated R. But again, it can work, okay? This game can easily work if y'all just actually put the effort into it and actually thought about it. Because what y'all provided right now with this hot garbage is not gonna work. Y'all want money, right? Y'all want fans to actually play this game. Well, how about y'all actually take the time, put some effort into it, and actually listen to the fans? Matter of fact, how about y'all actually bring in some of the people who created these fan-made kaiju? Again, if one of the few titans I'm looking forward to, or one of the few, are Sekhmet, Leviathan, and what's it called? Leviathan, Typhoon. I'm looking forward to all of those three. Sekhmet, Leviathan, and Typhoon. Unless it all of a sudden gets retconned that Tiamat was the Leviathan the entire time, which I'm just going to probably be very disappointed in. But again, let's talk about this right. Abaddon. How do we fix that? Well, very simple. We give him this design right here. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, let's go with that quote, right? No Titan is safe. Why? What is Abaddon doing, or what can Abaddon do that makes him such a genuine threat to every Titan? What makes him a possible threat to someone like Ghidorah or Shimu? Well, here's the thing, right? And I actually had to think about this. What if we gave him some of the properties of ghost types? Like, you know, in Pokemon, like he can curse people, he can actually zap someone's life force, not drain them by their blood, but he can use a certain level of energy or a certain ability that allows him to drain his opponent's life force. Again, this is not like Camazotz, who operates like a vampire. This is literally operating like an astral or metaphysical being. You know, it's basically operating on a more magical like spectrum, except this is just the Titan using a form of energy manipulation to drain his opponent's life force and to supplement and grow his strength. And again, this can easily work. For example, Pokemon like Dusknoir, okay, can actually zap their opponent's life force energy. Matter of fact, if Gengar actually hangs out in your shadow too long, it will consume your life force eventually in a sadistic manner. But then you have Dusknoir, right, who can actually consume his opponent's whole and then take their soul. So now all you have to do is just apply that to Abaddon in a monstrous-like fashion. And again, one of the biggest gripes I have with these games is that sometimes they can be very lazy. For example, look at things like Black Myth Wukong. That's effort, okay? Now, sure, there are some glitches they need to fix here, but again, they made that game in a God of War-like fashion. Same thing with things like God of War Ragnarok, God of War 3. They all have effort in them. So, what would I change about it? For starters, you want to do human gameplay? Alright, well, we're going to do some Resident Evil 4 style gameplay. Next thing we're going to do is going to revamp Abaddon. We're going to make it into a praying mantis that can zap its opponent's life force and use it to amplify itself here. No Titan is safe from this ability because the stronger the Titan, the stronger that Abaddon becomes. That's how I would have did it. The villain can easily be Tywin Lannister. I mean, it's so simple and yet so easy. And again, right now, there's too many expectations placed on the Monsterverse, just like they're placed on any other franchise like the MCU, the DCEU. And this is the reason why a lot of these franchises need to get a grip. They need to actually listen to people who actually know what they're talking about and who actually, better yet, who can design kaijus far better than they can. I'm just saying. The sheer fact that this game is going to be disappointing should be no surprise. Again, I don't want anyone to be surprised if this game does not succeed, okay? However, if this game all of a sudden, you know, does make enough money to, get another Monsterverse game, then they need to actually do a whole lot better. Way better than what they did here. Because again, I could actually see this game being forgotten about in less than a month. A week, if it's that lucky. Alright? Because again, we have kaiju games that are perfect examples of what they can be. As a matter of fact, I would rather encourage people to go back and play Evolve more than I would them actually going back and playing some of the other Godzilla games. Because Evolve feels free. It feels different. It feels like you have more going for yourself as a whole here. And this is again why franchises like Monster Hunter, Transformers, and even to a certain degree, Injustice is going to be doing a whole lot better when it comes to the video game market than the Monsterverse here. Godzilla actually had its time with, again, Peter Jackson's Kong and Godzilla Unleashed and even the Godzilla PS4 game. All of those were good. However, people have now much higher expectations going into these games now. Nobody wants to spend money on a game that's going to be lazy or spend money going for a cheap copy of a game that's supposed to give them something that they expect, right? Again, this game, in my honest opinion, is not going to work here. Abaddon is not what it should be. The gameplay is, I guess you could say, okay, but not fully there altogether. So in all honesty, do I think this game is going to succeed? Absolutely not. No, I think I made that clear throughout this entire video that I do not have even the slightest bit of faith in this game at all here. They need to revamp the entire thing. Either make it a Kong game where we play as Kong, or if you want to make it a human game where we're going around the monsterverse or going around this city trying to save our family and fight against this evil organization led by Tywin Lannister called the Hyenas, then you need to up the ante and up the quality of this game. Or, again, go back to Resident Evil 4 classic day graphics, excuse me. But overall, that's all I got to say here for today. Please comment down below, like and subscribe and share it with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I hope you guys have a blessed day.